Raindrops and rain on the Dines. So what's going on here, ladies and gents? We have a digital to analog conversion machine. We have another digital analog conversion machine. We have lots of wires. If you really want to know what this is all about, I did a video just before. You can go to my channel and look at the video just before this one, explaining the problem in great detail. But basically this is a analog shootout preparation video. We're feeding the analog signals from two different sound cards into the main sound card, and via software we'll be switching and listening to the differences. So we'll gain match them, and then I'll put them on a blind test program and see if I can hear the difference. We'll also be analyzing them on a scope, also make sure there's no distortion at the levels we're feeding them, that sort of stuff. And this is just me mounting them side by side. So on the left is actually a sound card that feeds the super tweeters and the subwoofers, so it's not really involved in this test. One on the right just happens to be the same shape and same look, so it was kind of nice that they snugged together. And here's me pulling out the digital that was going into the main DSP, which was the main reason for switching, is because I was still getting some aliasing with my homebrew DSP, which was stuffing me around. It would sync nice at 44 and it would sync nice at 96, but you couldn't swap between the two of them, and it was giving me a headache. I didn't want to have to listen to one or the other, so we're trying out a freely switching separate standalone converter and feeding into the higher rate DSP through analog. So that's everything plugged in. Just quickly checking my connection to the ADI2, and I have a blinking sync, which means I haven't plugged the optical at the other end yet. So let's go and do that. Yes, I had actually taken out the digital cable for other testing, so I'm going to try and get my hand in there and swap it to that one. In it goes. So there's a little lunchbox dust cover. Yeah, so I'm getting the analog through that pigtail at the back there, through balance cables. And I'm getting a digital feed of the same thing through the optical. So that's how I can A/B the sounds of these two DACs. Now we have a solid light for the optical input, and this will change double speed, quad speed, depending on whether it's 96, 192 or 48 or 44. Okay, I'll go to the front now and I'll change the track. Hold still, phone. It's a quad speed track, QS. That's a 176.4 Madonna track. And this is a double speed DS 96 kilohertz track. It doesn't actually show you the denomination here when it's on optical sync. Now comes the joy of equalizing the input gains so they're similar or identical or optimal. Analog 3.4 is the Babyface going through the from the front of the car into the back via balance, and I've added a low gain to 3.5, and I set the Babyface, I think, to low gain. And here we have the ADI2 at low gain with 0 gain, and we're way down here. See, it's about 4 or 5 different. I'm switching to 4 dB. I thought I saw that clip before, but yeah, there we go. So I have to go back to low gain and see what the unit is set to. And so the unit's set to +4, -10, or high gain. I'll try high gain and see what we get. That won't do. It's clipping all the time. It's funny you don't have a matching. Low gain doesn't match high gain. +4 is just going to hit when the next song starts. There we go, yeah. We're sort of down there. I can't hear the music, so I don't really know. So low gain was clipping before. See, that's almost at -1, -0.5, and that's definitely over. So you'd think that +4 on sending and receiving devices you'd end up with the same, but I've ended up having to go low gain on both, and then adding 3.5. As you can see, I could probably add maybe 3.9 or so on the ADI2. This is the UFX 2 inputs, so we can go a little bit hotter on the step up gain for the ADI. So just right off the bat, I've been able to add more than 4 on low gain and not clip, as opposed to 0 gain on +4 with clipping, because I think this dBu is relative to something else. It's not relative to this setting. It's what they call in their settings. They actually have other mappings in the manual, but yeah, they're not related to each other, +4 and low gain. But we're getting close. There is, out of this playlist, I have one song that's a bit louder. You can see these are close now. I think this one might even be a bit hotter. I'm just looking at these peaks. I should be able to line them up inside the Ableton. So a little bit about Ableton. On a track, I don't know, didn't name that really well. You can choose an external input. So this is 3 and 4. This is the Babyface continuous monitoring, and then it gets fed out through your DSP algorithms. Now I'm going to add another track, and I'm going to change the input. Insert audio track. That'll turn up here, and it'll still be in this group, and it'll still send to the group. I don't have to monitor it straight away. May as well. I haven't got the amps on, so that's fine. So it should be coming in 5/6, so I haven't got the input set up. Just keep adding inputs. There we go. Now we go back to this track. We should be able to choose 5 and 6 in a sec. Alright. And 5/6, there we go. And just for the sake of the level, I'm going to have to map that. This is the 64-bit path, so this 24-bit or 16-bit signal won't get degraded because it's on a 64-bit resolution fader. I'm just going to put an analyzer on the new track I just created. There we go. Here, and I've already got it zoomed into an area where we can measure the ultrasonic noise. I don't know if I'm going to keep it there for that, but just for now that's fine. And on the other one, we'll open it up as well. Yeah, so when I do some other testing, I can see straight away the Babyface has some extra noise. Put on top of each other. And you could say, well, maybe it's the cable run, maybe it's the DAC or the power it's on. This one's on AC and this one's on USB 5 volt. But yeah, I'll play around with this and see what we can get. So I've got them to within 0.1 or 0.2. It's actually 0.1 in RMS land and about 0.2 in peak land. So I don't know if that means that one of them is more punchy than the other. Wouldn't you love to have been the guy who mastered this and left in? This peak is definitely in the music. It's shown up in both. It's set about 29 kilohertz or something. 28. Yeah, naughty boys. So back to my added gain. This gain is added before the conversion from analog to digital, so it means that with that electrical gain added, I'm saving myself more dynamics in the digital realm. And whether it adds much noise from the gain, it's you benefit back in dynamics in the, so it could be different, the difference of 1 bit, say, from what you hear as being maybe an extra bit, like an extra, almost half as loud in dynamics. It's hard to explain, but you're probably raising the noise for it at the same time, but at least you're getting more. Alright, so I've put a MIDI learn function onto one of the dials, so I can swap Babyface, ADI2, Babyface, ADI2. So I'm doing that with my hand, and I've actually got a silent space in between, which is helpful, just in case it will double up. Yeah, so there we go. Do some testing.